Righto, that should be all the rebooting over with now, so we can be a little bit cleaner with how we're doing this. Righto, so we've rebooted, which gives us all of the audio capabilities that we need on the Stream PC. We've installed all of the software that we need on our Sim PC additionally, and on the Stream PC to set it all up. So now we're just going to go through the Stream PC configuration, clean all of that up. That'll be the end of this video, and then the next one will be just running your first stream. So the first thing you'll notice when it reboots, if you right click and go into your open sound settings, just while Word's opening up. This thing's a little bit slow because it's got a mechanical drive in it, so things get a little bit steady at times. Sound control panel again. This thing's useless, just forget it. I close this again after you get to that, and then we're also going to right click again and go to the volume mixer. We've got to get used to a couple of concepts here before we go much further, so that it doesn't do your head in. Just going to come down here to our Stream PC. We're going to ignore that stuff just for a second, and I'm just going to give you a bit of background on the audio and what we're looking at. So what you're going to see is that you've got a lot more options within your playback and recording. So if we come over to recording, that's the mic I'm using at the moment. Not used is the sound card at the back or the line in, but you'll see we've got voice meter output, and you'll see we've also got these two new voice meter aux, voice meter output, right? So this is virtual audio cable, this is voice meter, which is the new program we've got to get our heads around. So that means that in the volume mixer here, right, we've got two for voice meter, the aux input and the main input. Then you've got the aux input for the virtual audio cable, which marries up. So this one is this one. Okay, so each of these, you'll have programs open up in here that you can then adjust the volume for, which we'll get into later on as we get the sim started and all of that kind of thing. So anyway, if we come down here to the TV, no, it's not the TV yet, it'll be aux input. There's our Google and system sounds. So that's our default at the moment, and that's what we want it to be. So on playback over here, you want to just double check. Here's our first configuration item, that if we right click, that is the default. So just here, you get a couple of options. If you pull down default or default communication device, we want it to be both. So make sure it's a tick and not a phone icon or something weird. Yeah, so that's the configuration there, and that's sort of what you got to get your head around, because when we open voice meter up in a second, it might blow your mind a little bit. So if we go start menu and open up voice meter, come on computer, you can do it. Somewhere in here we've got voice meter under VB audio, and it's voice meter banana. It's the one you want, so we're just going to pin that while we're here as well. Pin to taskbar. Recommend you do that because sometimes this gets crackly, so I like to have this open all the time when I'm streaming, in case I need to close it and open it quickly is all you need to do to get it going again. So ordinarily when you open it up, I think it's probably going to be close to this. So what we have here is obviously a mixing desk, which is quite handy, but it can be a little bit hard to get your head around. So we're going to have our VB audio cable set as the input device up here, right? Which when you click on this you get a few. I haven't figured out that it matters yet, as long as you get your correct one here. So VB audio cable is the one we want there. There it is. Oh, sorry, that might be the wrong one actually. That'll be the right one. So this is hardware, so you can set a microphone over here. If I wanted to pick the mic up, and now you can see me speaking there. And we could even change it within OBS then to one of those outputs and be picking that up. Okay. So that's the input section. We don't actually want that in there for this. That was just for the example. Then you've also got virtual inputs. So these are connected to here. So this voice meter here, VAIO, is this thing, input. This aux is this thing. So down here in your volume mixer, if you look at input, okay, we've got nothing coming into there at all. But in the aux input here, we've got Chrome and we've got the system sounds, so that's fine. Okay, and then you've got your output section over here. So when it first comes up for you, it'll be blinking red up in this section. You need to set an output device on A1 here. So that's what you would normally set as your default device down here in your regular Windows sound. So in this case for me, I'm watching on I've got a TV plugged into this as the monitor, so that's what I'm using as my sound output. So there it is. You can set second ones here, so this is handy for things like bass shakers if you don't want to get into what's it called? The thing that makes your rig shake, then you can use this to split your bass off. Then we've got, so that's your physical outputs, and then we've got virtual outputs here. Okay, so these marry up to our recording ones here, aux output and output. Okay, so we can use these in the in OBS as well. So then what you need to do in terms of configuring everything is you need to route your inputs to your outputs in Voicemeeter. So our virtual audio cable is going to be our sim sound, okay, so we want that going through to, actually we'll go through what we've got assigned here. We've got our sim input in here, our main input is going to be Discord, and our auxiliary input is going to be, what do you call it, Spotify, right? So if we get Spotify going so that we've got some signal coming into this thing, Spotify. I thought I had it set to close or to minimise at least. Yeah, it'll minimise, it'll be right. I don't know, let's not get too hung up on this. 36 crazy fists, there we go. So we'll just run a bit of 36 through that. We should see we've got, yes we do, we've got output here, see how little meter's going to show we've got sound. If we paused Spotify, we'd have nothing. Pause. And go back to voice meter. Oh, boom, it's gone. Believe it or not. Hallelujah, the system works. So if we minimise that and leave it alone, we can then set this to an output. Okay, we might want A1, which means it's going to go into here, which is a physical output. So I don't actually have the TV sound on at the moment, I don't think. No, I don't. If I did, however, okay, there's 36 Crazy Fists through the stereo. Hooray, hurrah. So I'm going to turn that back off again. If we go into B1, you obviously see it come up through virtual output 1, which is the main, or virtual output 2, which is the auxiliary. So for the purposes of this, we want it in the auxiliary. So away it goes like that. And you see it correspondingly in here. If we go to input, we've got no input. If we change that and added a B1, it's making a liar of me. It should now show us an input, and it's not. You fucking mongrel. I don't know why it's not showing me that. It's just being a bastard, but anyway. It'd normally show you that, and then you could adjust the volume separately there, so let's take it back off B1. So then B1 is going to be Discord, so we're going to just route it straight through there. Click B1 if we open Discord up. And we go into our users options here, voice and video. We're just going to set the output device here to be voice meter input, like so. Okay, and then we jump out of that, and if we then go and connect to Discord, just on my other machine here, we should then start getting some signal in the Discord channel. No, we aren't, because it sucks a dick. Oh, because my microphone's plugged into this PC. Haha. If Corey talks for me, though. Still not getting it. So we should have in our voice meter main. Yeah, we don't have it. Alright, so we're just going to close voice meter. So you close it there and then make sure that you've exited it. It should be up in the system tray as well, and it's not. Anyway, bring it back on. As long as you get your engine starting, we should be sweet. Aux input. Yeah. Something not correct there. Oh, I'm not in the channel, that's why. Try that again. Yeah, so there's Corey in coming out in the virtual input 1, because I suck. So then the next thing we've got to do with the audio is just make sure the SIM's configured. This is basically the same as what we did on the SIM PC. So this is for camera 2 though. We're just going to fire up a test session and set our audio. Okay, so any old test session. This will load up slightly slower than the other machine. So out of this list, we've set up voice meter. Discord, as I mentioned in the other video, is a user account, so you need another email address that you don't currently use in Discord, and just create, it's not a fake user, like think of it like a bot user that you're going to have logged into this instance of Discord that's on the stream PC. Let me know what the username is and rename it with your name, so that it looks like this. Rather than this channel. We're going to use streaming. Okay, and there's a little PNG logo that looks like this in the files that we're going to unzip shortly. So just change the profile pic to that as well, so that we all know the same logo and we know that that channel is being streamed then, or potentially streamed. I mean, whenever this PC's on, this is potentially logged in. So yeah. We got it up yet? Not quite yet. So that's the last bit of Discord. Spotify, obviously you can use a free account, but you'll get ads in it. It's up to you, whatever you do. So there's the sim ready to go. We're just going to go to options and sound. I'm just going to just like on the sim PC, we're going to make it the VB audio cable, audio virtual cable there. And done. Oh, hang on, we've got to do all of them. All of them. So we don't have voice chat enabled on this one because we're just broadcasting with it. Voice meter, virtual cable, there, done. Okay, so that's all we needed to do on the sim. If we get into the sim actually, test, should be able to see the engine idling and voice meter. And you can see it there idling away, so we're actually going to route that to A1. So that's where we pick that up in OBS, is off the TV. So that's the end of this one, since Corey's gaffing on. You can probably hear him worse than me. Yeah, that's... No, it's not the end of this one at all. Right, that's the end of the audio. We're going to get back out of here.
Yeah, that's true.
Oi. Okay, so we've done Discord, Spotify, yes, free account, blah, blah, blah. So ATVO. Did we install that? We must have.
I think it's like another week or two.
Oh yeah, there we go, it's right to go. Okay, so... Oh, it's Wayno. We're just going to do the last little bit, which is WOMP. So the WOMP server's here for the live streaming. Okay, so what we need to do is go to our live streaming and copy some of that. Go to our live streaming application and copy some of that across to the WOMP server so that it's displayed. So if we go to our live timing that we copied into C program files, live timing before. Somewhere. No, I didn't, because I didn't have it. Live timing. There it is. So this folder that's website, if we go into that, we've got files in there. Okay, so we just select all of that, copy that, and then under C, you'll see WOMP64, www. Okay. Delete all of this under www and just paste in what we copied. Okay, there it is. Then in the live timing, we need to update this JavaScript file. So that's under your files folder that we just copied. We just edit that. Okay, and what we need to do is just here. When you first grab this, this is going to look like this. So we just need to change that. We need to make the PHP line active and then put 2 backslashes in front of that. Save it. And that's it, done. So that's all we ever need to do there. And then we're also just going to grab our live timing. Again, put the app out on the desktop or the quick launch so we can get to it easy. Alright, there it is. So that's live timing. ATVO, we'll stick that out there as well because we'll use that when we come to do our first stream. Voice meter we've got there, live timing we've got there, Songify we've got there. So think we went through that before. We just unzipped that one, just like browser apps and live timing. Spotify we've got. Okay, so now we're going to configure OBS. Okay, so I'm going to try and be a smart ass and open another OBS instance here and show that to you. It should work, but you just never know, do you? Oh, well, look at that. Alright, so we're just going to start. No, we're not. We're just going to import what we've got. So if we go, go back over here, I've created this little zip file that I'll put in Discord. Fuck, where is it gone? This one, SSR streaming data just here, so just imagine that we've unzipped this. And what we've got in here is a little script for auto hotkey. So this is basically an extension on the hotkeys that I've got set in the OBS profile, in the OBS scene collection, so that you can do everything at one touch, because I'm running this while I'm driving. Not quite literally, but you know what I mean. You'll see that in action hopefully when we get going a little bit later. The on-air logo, that's for Discord, for that user that I've been keeping on harping about. The setup guide is these notes that I've been referring to. So, you know, come back to them, and you know, they're pretty rough, but you'll get the idea. And what else is in there? The data for OBS, and a couple of things that I needed to give you so that I could give you the scene collection really easily. So basically this whole thing comes as a zip file. Unzip this into your documents. It's got to be in documents folder, SSR streaming data, just like this is, otherwise it won't work for me. So when you get that and put it in there, first thing is to double click your policy.reg here, execution policy.reg. That's going to allow us to run some scripts after in PowerShell, so just click yes to that. And it's telling you that you're making a change to the registry, just hit yes, and then hit OK. Alright, which means that we can now run this thing with PowerShell. So, it's going to come up and ask you with a little question. It should ask you a little question. Hey. Oh, execution policy change. Just say all, A for all, and go OK. Alright, so your SIM PC's IP address. This is so that we can change a couple of the sources in the scene collection before we import it. So it is quite simply just the IP address of your SIM PC, which I happen to know for mine is .29, like that. Enter. And then it's actually just making a little change there to pick up all of the OBS scene data that's in this folder after that. So that's that, and you'll see you've got an OBS scene collection and then an original. If you need to go backwards, we can go backwards. Anyway, after you've done that, go into OBS, go to scene collection, and you want to import that collection that we've made. So that's in your documents folder under the SSR streaming data. Come on. And it's the OBS scene collection, not the original, this one. So then if we switch over to that, it's called production scenes. And we'll be a little bit slow because of it running 2 instances at the moment. So, hey Corey, it worked. Alright, so you'll see there's a lot of stuff going on here. But we're just going to go through and double check. We're going to just rifle through and just double check that there's a couple of things here. The Discord overlay will be working when I come back, so I'm going to come back through this setup. And we'll get to our first stream. If we come back up to something that's got Spotify on it here under Be Right Back, we're just going to check a couple of these audio sources. So if we click the cog here for Discord, actually these are the things we've got to check. So let's do this in a bit more dignified way. The things you would need to check for yourself would be under the webcam elements, element webcams. This is something that you'll have to customize for yourself, but this is why I've split the scenes up. So you customize your sources here, and then this is already being used up in your driving cams, for example. So whatever changes you make here in that nice simple view are reflected here automatically. So you'd have to modify this for whatever webcams you're running. I guess you've all seen mine, so I run a rear cam and a front cam and the foot cam. So the Discord overlay should be left pretty much as it is. That should all just work, except for your sound source. That's one spot that we need to change. Well, I've got it there. Yeah, good. So Discord update our audio source, which is going to be, if we go to properties, it's our new voice meter input, which happens to be the voice meter main aux bio, that's main there. So that should then give us Discord if Corey has a bellow in his microphone for me. Since I'm still set up on the screen, he's slow. Fuck, you're slow, bro. There you go, and see his name popping up there if he does it again. Go again. You'll see it popping up there in the corner. No. Yeah. Anyway, so that proves that Discord's working. So the next thing we need to do is, cheers, bro. So that's the webcams and that. So the now playing element, if we duck into there, we've got to set our Spotify source. So boof, properties again, and it's the auxiliary this time, voice meter auxiliary. Okay, now we should be hearing 36 Crazy Fists. Woohoo! Not that I've got the audio on for you lot. And it's just died. Why is that? Oh no, there it goes. Alright, so the other thing we need to double check is the frame in Songify. So if we start up Songify, it's our little now playing thing to tell everyone what's now playing. Alright, that's one other little bit. We never want to check for a new version because you always do it. It always tries to do it. We've just got to connect to that. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Okay, so this little thingo, we need to connect to Spotify, or did we? Yeah, we did just need to connect it through that connect button. And we just log in. And that just allows it to read the information. Eventually we should get an album art up there. I did like the appearance to be the dark one as well. It was looking sweet. And then you tick this one to show the album cover and save that. And we just go back. We should get a song cover there shortly, but the main thing you want to check is that we've got it coming up right here in the window capture. And that will depend on obviously where your window comes up. I don't think I've ever moved that, so it should come up in that spot for you and should just work, but check that. And yeah, you'd only need to move this around. Ooh. Sorry, yeah, you need to grab these handles and just move the window around as you'd need to get it to come up and be in the right spot. If we hit refresh, still no album title. Anyway. Oh, there it is. Hooray! Alright, cool. So you can't minimize that, just leave it where it is and just use everything else over the top of it and that'll be fine. We don't want to do that, do we? So come back to OBS. The next thing we need to check is the camera 2 overlay and your game capture and the sim capture. So we need to crank up a sim session for that. So just head back into here and get our Mazda going again. So again, this is for camera 2. If you don't want to run a camera 2 on your stream PC because it's not gutsy enough, then you just ignore this stuff. And there's a hotkey to turn off the camera 2 within the whole setup of it. So yeah, just do that, eh? Alright, so I'm just waiting for the initial sim windows. Once it goes full screen, I'll tab out again and let it do its thing. So at the same time, we're just going to go and check the next one, which is camera 1. And Discord we've already done. So camera 1 with overlay just here. We should be able to see when the track comes up. Oh no, we'd have to be logged into the sim PC to see a track map, which we're not running a session there. If we double click camera 1 sim PC, we now want to have a look and get our NDI source, okay? It won't come straight up, it'll depend on the name of your PC. For me, I've already had it working on here, so I knew to come up with that. So you just pull this drop down and it'll have the name of your PC, and then it should have desktop. If it doesn't, then you need to check your NDI source in your system tray on your sim PC and make sure that you've got NDI broadcasting the desktop and also the virtual audio cable output as the audio source. And as long as you've got that and you've selected that option there, we hit OK, and there's my sim PC. I could prove that by wobbling the mouse. Here it is over here, and just to show you again those sources, if we right click and go to NDI there, okay, so you've got to make sure that it's desktop and that we've got the audio cable, otherwise you're not going to get the right output from the sim. So we've now got the sim up here, so we can go back to camera 2 and double check that camera 2 is rocking us the iRacing sim. There it is, it's come up, that's good, so we're away. The camera 2 audio, we need to just double check, is the virtual audio again. Okay, so we've got to just update that one to be virtual cable. That's the words you've got to look for, virtual cable right there, boom, that's it, done. So then if we jumped in the car, we've got the audio. But then at the same time, if we come back up here to our driving cams, we would see now that we've got no Sim 1 PC sound. Why haven't we got camera 2? The camera 2 sound we should have and we don't have. There it is there anyway, just to prove this point. Then I could go through and fire the sim up from there, which we'll do in a second anyway. On the next one, just do some initial testing, and we'll go through and just load up a practice session and prove that everything's working, just as the final video. So that concludes this one. That's the configuration of the stream PC after we've done all the sort of prerequisite installing and fucking around. So next one will be actually firing everything up for a stream. So it'll be what you need to do before you start racing. It'll be what you need to do to prepare your stream before you start racing or running. All right, I'll be back with that one shortly.